Ladies and gentlemen, life does not reward those who merely wish. It rewards those who prepare. Consistency builds destiny because life itself is shaped by repetition, by the patterns you follow, and by the actions you choose to repeat every single day. Every habit, no matter how small, plants a seed that eventually grows into a result. Just as a farmer does not expect a harvest from a field that was watered only once, you cannot expect success from efforts that are occasional or half-hearted. What you do consistently carves pathways in your mind, strengthens your will, and creates the rhythm of your future. A single act of effort may inspire, but it is the steady, unwavering continuation of effort that transforms. The law of life is precise. Repetition becomes reality. When you practice consistency, you align yourself with the principles of order and growth that govern the universe. Imagine a sculptor working on stone. With each strike of the chisel, progress may appear small, even invisible, but over time a masterpiece emerges. Consistency is that chisel, shaping your life in quiet, persistent strokes. Many people fail not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they abandon their path when results do not appear quickly enough. The truth is, destiny does not unfold in a single leap. It unfolds in steady steps, each one taken faithfully. The power of consistency lies in its ability to build momentum. The first few steps may feel heavy, like pushing a great wheel, but as you keep moving, the wheel begins to turn on its own weight. Suddenly, actions that once felt difficult become second nature, and progress becomes easier. Consistency creates habits, habits form character, and character shapes destiny. Without it, even the greatest vision remains a dream, but with it, even the smallest effort becomes unstoppable. Consistency is also a test of faith. When you continue to act even without immediate evidence, you show trust in the unseen, belief in the process, and alignment with divine timing. The universe rewards those who do not give up, those who hold steady when nothing seems to change. Every day of persistence stores energy like drops filling a jar until suddenly the jar overflows and the breakthrough appears. What seemed impossible begins to manifest simply because you refuse to stop showing up. Inconsistency, on the other hand, weakens the spirit and confuses the path. Starting and stopping, doubting and delaying, robs you of power. Each time you quit, you break the rhythm and have to begin again. But when you stay consistent, your actions compound. Just as interest in a bank account multiplies over time, your steady efforts multiply their results. The mind, the body, and even circumstances begin to adjust themselves to the vibration of your persistence. Destiny is not written in a single moment of inspiration, but in the daily discipline of living out your vision. Each morning you choose whether to build or to drift, to water the seed or to let it wither. Each evening you carry the result of your choices. The future you long for is hidden in the choices you make again and again, not in the bursts of effort you make once in a while. To understand the law of consistency is to understand the secret of greatness. Greatness is not born in a day, but built in days that look ordinary, repeated with faith. The invisible work creates visible rewards. What you repeat, you become, and what you become determines what you attract. Destiny is never random. It is the harvest of your consistent planting. Therefore, when you rise each day and stay faithful to your path, you are already shaping a future that must unfold in your favor, because the universe cannot deny the one who refuses to stop. Discipline is power, not punishment, because it is the inner strength that guides your life toward purpose. Instead of scattering your energy on distractions, many people mistake discipline for restriction, as if it robs them of freedom or joy. But in truth, discipline is the key that unlocks freedom and joy. It is the ability to choose long-term growth over short-term comfort, to say yes to what serves your destiny and no to what weakens it. Without discipline, talent goes wasted, dreams remain unfinished, and opportunities slip away. With discipline, even ordinary abilities become extraordinary because they are sharpened by consistency and directed by focus. Discipline creates structure in a world full of noise and temptation. Life constantly offers easy paths, quick pleasures, and escapes that promise comfort but steal progress. Discipline is the voice within that says, I will not be ruled by my impulses, I will be ruled by my vision. It keeps you steady when others waver, it strengthens your will when fear or laziness whispers, and it draws a line between those who talk about their dreams and those who actually achieve them. To live without discipline is to drift without direction, but to live with discipline is to walk a straight path toward destiny. Think of discipline as training the soul to obey truth instead of illusion. It is not meant to harm you. It is meant to free you from the chains of weakness, excuses, and wasted time. Just as a river flows powerfully because it is contained within banks, your life flows powerfully when directed by discipline. Without banks, water becomes a flood and destroys, but with direction it becomes energy that gives life. Discipline gives direction to your time, your mind, and your actions, so that nothing is wasted and every step leads you forward. Discipline also reveals who is serious about their destiny. Many start with passion, but fade when the excitement is gone. Discipline does not depend on moods, it acts regardless of feelings. It wakes you when you are tired, it drives you when you are uninspired, and it lifts you when the world tells you to quit. This is why discipline is power. It turns fleeting passion into lasting progress, and it turns ordinary days into extraordinary results. Discipline makes the difference between wishing and winning. When you look at the lives of those who have achieved greatness, you see not punishment but practice, not restriction but rhythm. They lived by order, by habits, by choices that were repeated until success became inevitable. They sacrificed lesser things to gain greater ones, not because they were deprived, but because they were directed. Discipline is not a chain around your freedom. It is the key that unlocks your true potential. It is the price you pay for a life of meaning, and it is always a price worth paying. Every act of discipline strengthens your character and builds a foundation that no circumstance can shake. When storms come, the undisciplined crumble because they have no root, but the disciplined stand firm because their habits are deep and their choices are strong. Discipline trains your mind to stay calm, your body to stay steady, and your spirit to stay focused. It builds resilience, which is the ability to rise again no matter how many times you fall. Discipline is not punishment because it does not take away life, it multiplies it. It gives you time by saving you from waste, it gives you strength by saving you from weakness, and it gives you victory by saving you from defeat. To embrace discipline is to embrace power, the kind of power that no one can take away from you because it is built inside of you. This is why those who walk with discipline always rise above, for they are not carried by chance but guided by choice. Mindset is the architect of reality because the way you think shapes the way you live, and the images you hold in your mind eventually manifest in your world. Every building begins with a blueprint, every creation begins with an idea, and in the same way every life begins with the pattern of thought that is repeated daily. The mind is not passive, it is creative, and it arranges circumstances according to the beliefs it holds most strongly. If your mindset is filled with doubt, fear, and limitation, then your reality will reflect walls, obstacles, and lack. But if your mindset is filled with faith, abundance, and possibility, then your reality will open doors, attract opportunities, and bring forth success. The invisible thought becomes the visible condition, for life cannot resist the power of belief. The architect draws before the builder builds, and so it is with your mind. What you dwell on consistently becomes the blueprint of your destiny. People often look at their surroundings and believe they are trapped by them, but the truth is they are only trapped by the thoughts they refuse to release. A poor mindset will keep even the wealthiest man poor, for he will see only loss and limitation. A victorious mindset will raise even the most broken person, for they will see the seed of opportunity where others see only ruin. It is not the world that decides your future. It is the mindset through which you view the world. Mindset directs energy. When the mind is fixed on fear, it attracts more reasons to fear. When it is fixed on gratitude and expectation of good, it attracts more reasons to rejoice. This is not chance but law, for thought carries vibration, and vibration attracts its match. Every time you choose to believe in possibility instead of impossibility, you align yourself with higher opportunities. Every time you choose to affirm strength instead of weakness, you create conditions for strength to appear. Mindset is the unseen architect quietly arranging the bricks of your future. To change reality, you must first change mindset. Effort without the right thinking collapses because the foundation is weak. But when your mindset is aligned with faith, every action is supported by invisible forces that guide and multiply results. For example, a person with a defeated mindset may work hard but constantly expect failure, and in doing so, they unconsciously attract it. Another with a victorious mindset may face setbacks, but their expectation of success fuels persistence until success arrives. Mindset does not erase challenges, but it determines how you respond to them, and that response builds the outcome. Mindset also creates identity. The words you repeat about yourself form the walls of your inner house. If you say, "I am not capable, I am unlucky, I am not worthy," you design a house with no windows, no light, no space to grow. But if you say, "I am capable, I am guided, I am destined for good," you design a house filled with doors and windows that open to opportunity. Your identity is the most powerful blueprint of all, for it becomes the standard of what you will accept or reject. Mindset can lift or destroy, liberate or imprison. The difference between two people facing the same circumstance is not chance but the frame of thought each one holds. One sees defeat and quits, the other sees a challenge and rises. The same storm can drown one man and sail another depending on the way he directs his mind. This is why it is said that as a man thinketh, so is he. Thought creates perception, perception creates decision, decision creates action, and action creates destiny. To guard your mindset is to guard your future. To fill it with truth, faith, and possibility is to write a blueprint of abundance, health, and victory. To let it sink into fear, doubt, and negativity is to design a reality of struggle and lack. Life is not shaped by chance but by choice, and the first choice is always what you allow your mind to believe. Mindset is the silent builder of your destiny, the unseen hand drawing the plan that your life cannot help but follow, and when you choose a mindset of victory, you build a reality that must reflect it. Life mirrors inner order because the world outside of you is a reflection of the state within you, and the harmony or chaos you experience in circumstances is often born first in the thoughts, beliefs, and emotions you carry inside. When the mind is restless, scattered, and filled with fear, life responds with confusion, obstacles, and uncertainty. When the mind is calm, disciplined, and anchored in faith, life responds with clarity, direction, and opportunity. The outer world is like a mirror, faithfully reflecting the patterns of your inner world. What you see is not always a matter of luck or chance, but an echo of what has been nurtured in the secret chambers of your own consciousness. Order is a spiritual principle, and it governs all creation. The planets move in order, the seasons follow their pattern, and even the smallest cell functions according to divine arrangement. When your inner world aligns with order, you place yourself in harmony with these same universal laws, and your life begins to flow with greater ease. Confusion, procrastination, and self-sabotage are not random, they are signs of disorder within. Just as a cluttered room reflects a cluttered mind, a life filled with chaos reflects the absence of inner alignment. By restoring order within, through clear thinking, disciplined action, and unwavering faith, you create the conditions for outer order to appear naturally. The thoughts you entertain daily are like builders constructing the foundation of your reality. Negative thoughts construct shaky foundations, and unstable foundations inevitably lead to unstable circumstances. Positive, disciplined thoughts construct solid foundations, and strong foundations attract stability in every area of life. If you believe in lack, your life reflects scarcity. If you believe in abundance, your life reflects provision. Life does not resist you, it simply mirrors you. The mirror does not argue, it only reflects what is placed before it. Inner order is also about alignment with truth. When you live in harmony with principles of honesty, faith, gratitude, and discipline, life begins to mirror opportunities, peace, and progress. But when you live with contradiction, saying one thing, believing another, and doing something entirely different, life reflects the conflict back at you. Circumstances become tangled because the inner life is tangled, but when thought, word, and action move in unity, life itself moves with greater clarity. The universe rewards alignment because order is its natural language. Even relationships mirror inner order. A person filled with love and respect attracts love and respect from others, while one consumed by anger and insecurity often finds themselves surrounded by conflict. The vibration you carry inside cannot help but flow outward and draw its equal. The mind and heart act like magnets, and what they hold most strongly is what they pull into life. This is why inner healing and self-mastery are not luxuries but necessities, for without them the mirror of life cannot reflect peace or success. When you begin to organize your inner world, setting clear intentions, practicing discipline, and nurturing faith, you will notice doors opening, solutions appearing, and relationships improving. It is not that the world suddenly changed, but that your inner order created a new reflection. To seek change outside without addressing the inside is like trying to fix a mirror by touching the glass instead of the face before it. The mirror will not change until the source changes. Life is a faithful servant of the order you hold within. If you carry clarity, you walk into clarity. If you carry confusion, you walk into confusion. If you cultivate peace, peace meets you at every step. This is not magic, it is law. The inner always precedes the outer, and the outer always reflects the inner. When you understand this, you stop blaming circumstances and begin to take responsibility for the order within your own soul, knowing that by setting it right, you invite life itself to set itself right before you. Ask ChatGPT. Faith-driven thoughts attract victory because they carry a power that lifts you beyond fear, doubt, and limitation, drawing into your life the very circumstances that align with your belief in possibility. Thought alone is creative, but when thought is infused with faith, it becomes a magnet charged with unstoppable energy. Fear-driven thoughts weaken, scatter, and attract defeat, but faith-driven thoughts strengthen, gather, and attract triumph. Faith does not merely hope, it knows. Faith is certainty in the unseen, confidence in the yet to be, and trust that what you affirm with conviction must find its way into form. Every achievement, every breakthrough, and every victory begins in the realm of thought. A person who holds a vision in their mind but doubts in their heart undermines the very foundation of success. Their thoughts are divided, and divided thoughts create divided results. But one who fills their mind with faith-driven thoughts builds a solid foundation upon which no storm can prevail. Such a person sees beyond appearances, trusting that even when evidence is invisible, the outcome is already secured. Faith-driven thoughts are like seeds planted in fertile soil. Though hidden for a time, they are certain to grow, and in their season they bear fruit. Victory cannot dwell in a mind dominated by fear, for fear builds images of loss, failure, and limitation, and life mirrors those images. But when the mind is filled with thoughts of faith, it builds images of strength, opportunity, and triumph, and life responds accordingly. A faith-driven thought declares, "I can," even when circumstances whisper, "You cannot." It affirms, "It is possible," even when appearances scream, "It is impossible." It holds the vibration of success so strongly that the universe itself rearranges to honor it. Victory is not drawn to the timid thought, but to the bold thought spoken with faith. Faith-driven thoughts also empower action. When you believe with certainty, you move with confidence, and that confidence multiplies your chances of success. Doubt breeds hesitation, but faith breeds momentum. Every step taken in faith is charged with energy, and that energy attracts opportunities, resources, and allies. People are drawn to those who carry faith, for faith radiates assurance, while fear repels by radiating insecurity. Victory follows the one who walks with the courage of belief, for life supports those who trust in its goodness. There is also a spiritual law at work, like attracts like. Faith vibrates at the frequency of victory, and so it naturally draws victorious outcomes. This does not mean there will be no trials, but it means trials will be overcome. Faith-driven thoughts turn obstacles into stepping stones, while fear-driven thoughts turn stepping stones into stumbling blocks. To the one filled with faith, a delay is only preparation, a challenge is only training, and a setback is only a setup for a greater comeback. Faith gives eyes to see the hidden blessing and strength to endure until the blessing is revealed. Faith-driven thoughts are also declarations of authority. When you think and speak with faith, you command life rather than beg from it. The world responds not to desperation but to conviction. To declare in faith is to release a creative force that cannot return void. Every thought of faith is like a seed carried on the wind, finding its soil, taking root, and growing into the harvest of victory. The one who trains the mind to dwell on faith has already won, for the victory is first secured in thought before it is seen in reality. Faith-driven thoughts attract victory because they align the inner world with truth, and truth always prevails. They silence the voice of defeat and awaken the power within. They attract people, places, and opportunities that reflect their strength. They are the unseen architect of triumph, the invisible bridge between vision and reality, the spiritual magnet that draws success into form. When the mind is ruled by faith, defeat has no lasting place, because every thought declares victory long before it appears, and in time life cannot help but obey. You are here to direct, not drift, because life was never meant to be lived by chance, but by conscious choice and intention. To drift is to surrender your power, to let circumstances, people, and random events decide your destiny. It is to float without purpose, carried by every wind, unable to choose your own path. But to direct is to recognize the authority given to you as a creator of your reality, to steer the ship of your life with vision, faith, and discipline. A drifting soul waits for luck, while a directing soul knows that alignment with truth and decisive action create their own fortune. The difference between a life of mediocrity and a life of greatness lies in whether you drift or direct. Drifting comes from passivity, from believing that you are a victim of the world, helpless before forces greater than you. But the truth is that within you lies the power of thought, the power of word, and the power of choice. Every thought you dwell upon, every word you speak, and every decision you make sets direction for your life. To deny this power is to deny your true purpose. You are not a leaf blown by the wind. You are the captain of your soul, placed here with the ability to choose, to shape, and to manifest. Directing life requires clarity. A drifting person says, "I do not know what I want," and so life reflects confusion. A directing person says, "This is what I seek, this is where I am going," and the universe responds by opening doors. The mind, when given a clear command, becomes a magnet for guidance, resources, and opportunities, but when the mind is left unfocused, it becomes scattered and weak, unable to attract or hold onto success. To direct is to decide, and in deciding, you set unseen forces into motion that bring your desire into reality. Drifting is the language of fear, for fear avoids responsibility. It is easier to say, "Life just happens to me," than to take command and accept the weight of choice. Yet drifting always leads to frustration, for the soul knows it was not created to wander aimlessly. Within each person burns a vision, a desire, a calling, and only by directing life toward it does one find fulfillment. Direction gives meaning to effort, and effort without meaning is labor without joy. To direct your life is to align with the divine order that made you not as an accident, but as a purposeful being. Directing does not mean controlling every detail, but it means guiding your energy, your focus, and your intention. A farmer does not control the sun or the rain, but he directs the planting of seeds, the tending of soil, and the protection of crops. In the same way, you cannot control every circumstance, but you can direct your thoughts, your words, and your actions. And when those are aligned with truth, circumstances arrange themselves in your favor. The drifting person complains about conditions. The directing person uses conditions to rise higher. To direct is also to live awake. Drifting is sleepwalking through life, repeating the same habits, thinking the same thoughts, speaking the same words, and expecting new results. Directing is awakening to the power within, realizing that each day is a fresh canvas and each choice is a brushstroke. The picture you paint is the reality you live. To drift is to hand the brush to others, to let the world paint your destiny for you. To direct is to hold the brush firmly, to create with intention, and to paint the masterpiece that only you were meant to create. Life responds to the one who directs with conviction, for conviction carries authority. When you decide, the universe supports you, but when you drift, the universe reflects back indecision. You are not here to wander aimlessly, but to command your path, to speak with faith, to act with purpose, and to rise above the tide. Destiny is not found by drifting into it. Destiny is claimed by directing yourself toward it. To know this truth is to step into your true power, for you were never made to drift, you were made to direct. Ask ChatGPT